we have got to talk about the ending to Donkey Kong Bonanza. That is the very first order of business here. Now, click off this video if you do not want spoilers. This will be a spoiler-filled video for the end of this game. But now, I just want to walk through all of these cutscenes and talk about what my experience was with this game towards the end of it and what I was thinking and what I am able to ascertain from all of this. Now, first off, we fought Void Kong here at the very core of the planet, and people... I'm telling you right now, I loved this boss fight, and I loved Void Kong and the Void Company. They were all very, very well done, and I really appreciate the actual effort that they decided to put in to making these villains, making this story, making this game as good as it possibly could be. Now, the Void Kong boss was amazing. Every time we fought Void, I felt like I had a rush. It was not too easy, it wasn't too hard. I died several times, and I also didn't have as many hearts as I wanted. And so I am just watching this cutscene live, right? And I could not believe that they let him just sit there. And then he uses his stupid little banana, he freezes up Donkey Kong, and he gets stuck. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, because they think that's the Bananium root, and obviously I do too, but it's just a little bit different. I didn't think... I was looking at like, is that really it? Like, I knew the game was telling me that's what it was, and everyone believed that's what it was, but it just seemed off. Something seemed wrong. I felt like it would be more grand. It just looked weirder than I anticipated. So Donkey Kong gets completely scrapped up here by all of this ancient technology or whatever it is that Void uses on all of these different things that you are able to then sing with Pauline to untrap. But the problem is, Pauline had to sing to activate the Banandian root, and the only way that she could possibly get DK out of the situation was to sing as well. So Void was so smart here. He made it to where she had to sing. Okay, then she sings, she unlocks DK out of his ruin thing, and it also activates the Banandium root, or so we think it does, right? And Void also thinks that's what it does as well. Now, the really, really cool part about all of this is that there was a little bit of foreshadowing, because once we are approaching this area and we get up to Void Kong, on the way there, if you talk to some of the crystallites or whatever those things are, the fractones, if you talk to the fractones, they will tell you that a long time ago, someone came through here trying to get the Banandium root and never came back. He was trapped, whoever came through here. So all of this is kind of going through my mind as this Banandium root is being activated. Void Kong is finally being as evil as ever. In this entire game, he's so evil, he's so greedy, and he's the perfect villain, right? I would have been totally fine if he was just the only villain. So Pauline does what she needs to do to save DK, then Void runs. He starts absolutely booking it past these two straight towards the Banandium root. And then, my friends, he jumps towards it. They're like, oh no, he's gonna get it. I'm thinking, shoot, what is going to happen now? And then King K. Rool comes out of nowhere and slaps the crap out of Void, and he is gone. He blows up on this island above us, the thing he was using to dig down, and we never see him again. But you want to know who we do see? We see King K. Rool, and it turned out it was his belly, which is just ingenious. It was so smart and fun. I loved this twist. That was King K. Rool the whole time stuck there. That was who the Fractones were talking about. This is who the main villain was all along. This is who we've been chasing this entire time. He was here to get the Banandium root for himself and got trapped. Voidco came thinking this was the Banandium root, accidentally used Pauline's abilities against his own self to get King K. Rool, and then he finally jumps down the hole here and tries to go get it himself. And we, as the player and as Pauline, follow along. Now, this is probably one of my favorite ending sequences in any Nintendo game, period. After you follow King K. Rool, you land down into the depths of this planet and you see a huge K. Rool statue made out of gold, and right below it are a bunch of Kremlings guarding it. And then you go layer to layer to layer, and you are chasing after King K. Rool, trying to get to the Banandium root before him, and you are able to go through this just very grand and well-designed bunch of different puzzles and loops and obstacles that you have to get through, and finally you make it down to the Banandium root, and it's too late because King K. Rool was right ahead of you, wasn't he? He gets to the Banandium root and he makes his wish, and he finally is able to get what he has wanted this entire time: more power. And because he hates Donkey Kong and all the Kongs, he wants to see the rotting bananas, and so he gets these rotting powers, and he powers up right in front of us, and we fight him. And this boss fight, let me tell you, is so much fun, and it's much more difficult than I anticipated for anything in this game. It is amazing. I love this fight. I love K. Rool. This was just so expertly done. Now, I have not been a big Donkey Kong fan my entire life. I played Tropical Freeze when I was growing up. I played it on the Switch. I played Country Returns HD for the first time this year. I'm not a huge Donkey Kong guy. I don't know a lot about the series, but I know about King K. Rool, obviously, from Smash and from everyone talking about this series, and I know a general amount of this. So there is so much going over my head, and yet I still adored this game and this ending and everything that this provided. So as you are fighting King K. Rool, you are having to dodge all of these different obstacles, and it only gets more difficult because from Smash Brothers, right, one of his side B animations is that he has a cannonball that he shoots out of his little gun, and here we can see he has a massive cannonball gun that he is shooting at us, and it's just so much fun. There's so many throwbacks, and the whole area becomes infested with this banandium root gunk, all of this rotting bananas looking things. It's so disgusting and yet so brilliant, and the boss meter is so large. Like, this fight goes on for a long time. Then, once you finally defeat him, the Banandium root rises out of where exactly? I don't really know. I'm not going to ask questions, but it rises out of King K. Rool, and you are able to run over to it and grant your own wish. And for DK, that's bananas, but for Pauline, it's getting to the surface. So, of course, we're going to get her to the surface first. Then the Banandium root uses a bunch of bananas to skyrocket them through the core of the planet and take them back to the surface. And as you're rising up, the credits begin to roll, and you will see this game is reaching its end. Or is it? Because after we finally defeat Void Kong and we think, man, crazy twist, it's King K. Rool. And then after we finally chase him down after a long gameplay section of chasing him and then finally defeating him, he gets back up. The double fake out is now in play because we have Void Kong not being the main villain, K. Rool actually being the main villain. We finally defeat him, the credits roll, and then he comes after you again. And it's crazy because this fight isn't even about how many times you can damage him. It's more about outlasting him to the surface. So he will use his weird powers that he has from whatever machinery he has on him to defeat you with all of the bananas around you, making you try to fall through. And it doesn't work most of the time because it's not very difficult to do this and to pick up the roots below you and be able to blow them up. But in the cases that you do fall through, you have the balloons, right? You're going to be fine. This is just more for the show of it, and I love this. So after a long fight up to the top of the surface, you finally reach New Donk City, and the implications for this are absolutely insane. Before the game came out, people were talking about K. Rool possibly being in the game, and it's not that I didn't think it was possible, I just thought people were really going on that copium, and especially with New Donk City, I didn't know if it would be possible for us to see Pauline here because we didn't know what kind of game this was. Is it a prequel? Is it a sequel? Where is this in relation to Mario Odyssey? What story does this actually tell? But for now, let's answer the question of why is King K. Rool sitting on the top of this tower? Well, because he gets the Banandium root once again. He sees humans, and he sees for 5 seconds people that have never done a single thing to him in his entire life, and he decides to destroy it all. I mean, he is sending all of these rotten bananas that would kill DK all across the city. So these people are gone. These people are dead, right? And then the statue of himself, he makes a statue and puts it in the middle of the city. And DK and Pauline are like, So then the music begins to swell. You're racing through this city with rising banana lava coming right at you. And all of these snakes, like these crocodile snake looking things, are also coming after you. And if you go too fast, these things will obliterate you. If you go too slow, the lava will rise and obliterate you. If you do anything wrong, it will get you. And this is one of the most exciting and fun Nintendo endings I have ever played in my entire life. I mean, just look, you're climbing the building and these snakes are coming after you. So after you go quite a bit of distance through the city to try to reach where exactly, I don't know. We're trying to find K. Rool, but how do we know where he is? Because that's always been crazy to me. But we finally approach this statue that he created, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the boxing ring emerges. Going back to K. Rool's roots as a boxer in some of these old Donkey Kong Country games, we finally get to see this ring. And yet, we can only see it from a distance, right? There's still one more section to go. And this section is very fun, but also it can be very tedious because it's a little bit difficult, right? It's not overly difficult, but you gotta go fast and you cannot make a lot of mistakes. And it's very cinematic, and I love that. I love how grandiose this entire ending is, but one frustrating thing is if you die, you gotta come all the way back to this part. You don't start right back in the boxing ring or anything. You just gotta eat it. You just gotta take it and go through this entire section again. And I cannot tell you how many times I frustratingly went back and died a million times. You then go up to this boxing ring, and there he is, watching the TVs of the Kremlings all cheering him on, the Banandium root right in front of him, waiting to continually grant whatever wish K. Rool wants. And what does he want? He wants revenge, and he wants to destroy, and he wants to be stronger. And so he takes his crown off. He throws it to the ground, and he decides to let the rot consume him, to do whatever it takes to defeat DK, Pauline, and let this city be his own. And he becomes what I can only assume is a shell of himself, losing his brain in exchange for bronze. He becomes King K. Rool, the true king of banana rot. So immediately in this fight, there is a big difficulty curve. It goes up a lot harder than the very first fight, and I already had thought that first fight was a little bit difficult because I had not gotten all the bananas at that point. I was just going through the game as much as I wanted to, collecting everything I could see in my sight, but not trying to 100% everything, right? And I also didn't have a ton of hearts at the time, and so this fight was really, really difficult for me the first few times, and I had to kind of take a day or two to beat it. It was very difficult. And I didn't really know I was supposed to kind of go back and forth between the Kong Bananza and the Elephant Bananza, and I didn't think that the zebra, ostrich, or snake would have any sort of use here, but I just never knew, right? And so when these balls are being launched at you, the cannonballs, you were supposed to use the Gorilla Kong to then come back at him and Bananza all your powers right on him, and that was just not what I was doing. I had the Elephant Bananza, and I was using all of the different gold that I was sucking up to then use the bomb that was being thrown at him, so I pretty much was only sucking up all of this stuff with the Elephant Bananza and then shooting it right back at him, and I probably could have been doing so many other smart things. But this fight is crazy, right? The hands are coming at you. You've got everything surrounding you. The rot is truly rotting. This boxing arena is such a vibe. The music is blaring. It's amazing. And you finally go up to him and get those last couple of hits in once he finally loses his powers. And boom, you smack him right across the face and he goes flying out of the arena. Then finally, DK and Pauline are just left over to celebrate and to watch the city around them go back to the way it was always supposed to be. New Donk City without any rot, without any King K. Rool, and of course Pauline wants to fulfill her dream, which is to make it back to the surface and to stay up here with her people, and she asks DK to stay. And of course he agrees because he loves Pauline. He's gonna stay there and be there however she needs. But then as everything starts to continuously go back to how it was supposed to be around them and the bananas are going everywhere, Pauline looks over at DK and sees that he loves bananas, that he wants more bananas, and that is his very simple motivation, but it is a strong one. And she sees that that's not his wish. His wish was not to make it to the surface. His wish to just get as many bananas as he possibly could. So she realizes that, and in a move of extreme maturity for a 13-year-old, she decides, you know what? I'm going to put him ahead of myself. I am going to let your dreams come true while I pursue my own dreams. And he's like, no, I don't want to leave. He's sad. He doesn't understand. But he's like, you know what? I love bananas anyways because he's a big old goofy monkey. So after all of this fighting, after all of this long, strenuous gameplay of just trying to get Pauline to the surface, doing everything you can to care for her and be there for her and just have a good time and beat up on the villains and make sure that good rules the day, you finally get to the ending of this game, and I just want you to watch this last sequence.
Don't worry, I'll be okay. I'll keep the beat on my own. See you around, DK.
This game was absolute cinema. I adored this game to its very core. I cannot believe Nintendo continues to push the medium forward, continues to push 3D platforming, to make their series new, to re-innovate good things into better things, to make Zelda into a better franchise, to make Donkey Kong into a better franchise, to just continue to evolve as a company and as a development team. And a big part of this is story. That was one of the biggest things I was harping on with this game, looking forward to it. I was just so excited to see, because it seemed as though through the marketing that they were going to be focusing a lot on story and on Pauline and being able to have her be an active character in this game, motivating you to move forward. And boy, was she motivating. And I'm sorry, Peach doesn't motivate me in Mario. I don't have a partner character like Pauline to keep me going in most 3D Mario games. In Mario Odyssey, I play the game purely and simply because I love platforming, I love Mario, and the mechanics are fun. I couldn't care less if I make it to Peach at the end of the game. Like, sure, part of me does want to, and part of me does want to just because I am in Mario's shoes, right? I want to do what he wants, and he wants to save her, but I couldn't care less about Peach. She doesn't have much of a character going for her, but Pauline? Oh, I die for Pauline, right? This is a beautiful example of how story can make a game be 10 times better, because the gameplay is so good. This game is amazing in terms of gameplay. It's so fun and fluid, and if Pauline didn't have a single part in this game, and you literally didn't do any of this for her, but it all happened regardless, it would still be a great game. But what Pauline does and what the developers did with this story makes this game a true 10 out of 10. I adore Donkey Kong Bonanza, its ending, and all else it has to offer. And of course, there was other endgame content this game had to offer. You were able to go and see Pauline again at the very end of this game. You go back to Ingot Isle, and then you can do a bunch of boss rushes. You can get Grumpy Kong even more gold nuggets, and you're able to build a big DK statue. And there's so many more bananas to go and collect, and you get to go and upgrade all of your bonanzas with the elders. And at the very, very, very end, once you get all of those bonanzas done, you collect over 600 bananas to be able to unlock all of the bonanza trials and rehearsals that you're able to do. You then get one final level at the core of the planet. You go down, the Harmonial comes out of nowhere, you jump down his gullet, and you do the hardest level in the game that all 3D Mario games are known for having. And of course, this was made by the Mario Odyssey team, and so it makes sense to see that one big final challenge at the end of this game. And that level was hard, and I loved mastering every single bit of my controls and abilities to be able to defeat the level. The one critique I have about this game probably has to do with the ending after that, because then you finally go to the Banandium route and Pauline talks about a new song that she's finally created. She hums a little bit of something at the end, and I can never tell if that's supposed to be a reference to something or if I'm just missing it. And then all of a sudden you go back to the Banandium route, you ask to go back to the surface, and I thought there was going to be some sort of final cutscene where she's in a concert and you get to see what song she's singing. Maybe it's Jump Up Superstar and that's her big hit. I don't know what it could have been, but it wasn't anything. The credits rolled, and then you see a picture of her and DK performing, and that is just so weird to me. I don't know. I felt like there was going to be more. It felt like it just kind of ended out of nowhere. And that was fine, I suppose. I'm not super opposed to that ending. I mean, obviously that was a lot of endgame content, and I still have hundreds of bananas I could go back and find, fossils to collect, outfits to upgrade. This game has no end in terms of content, and it is an amazing game and an amazing ending to this game. So thank you very much for sticking to the end of this video. What did you think about Donkey Kong Bonanza's ending? Did you have different experiences? What was your gameplay like? How did you react to all this? I was so excited throughout the entirety of this ending, and I wasn't even a huge Donkey Kong fan before this. So thank you very much for making it to the end of the video once more. Make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoyed today's content. It really helps the channel. Click that notification bell if you want to know exactly when all of my videos release, and consider joining my membership to help support the channel. Make sure you click on the left side of your screen if you want to see what I think this game means for the future of 3D Mario, and click on the right side of your screen if you want to see my initial reactions to the Donkey Kong Bonanza Direct. Have yourself a phenomenal day. This has been Ray's Nintendo Talk. I have been Ray, and I will see you all in the next video.